very much, Pak Andrianus, for the time. Okay, I share my screen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are in a very good condition during this pandemic. So my name is Muhammad Nur Heriawan from Bandung Institute of Technology. I'm very pleased to join here. Yeah, thank you to Dataman Software Indonesia for inviting me as one speaker in this great event. So my presentation today is the role of geostatistics for estimating the local and global uncertainty on Earth resources. This is about myself. So now I belong to the Department of Mining Engineering, Faculty of Mining and Petroleum Engineering, Bandung Institute of Technology. So my presentation today is divided into 5 parts. First is about introduction. The second is about why uncertainty analysis is important. And the third one, I would like to discuss about the comparison between estimation and simulation. Then I will share a case study for the uncertainty modeling in coal mines. Finally, I will close my presentation with some closing remarks. So for introduction, I would like to share a little bit. We remember about the history of geostatistics. So we thanks to Dr. Danny Crick and Professor Josh Matrong, who developed the geostatistics during 1950 and 1960. From that time until now, as you know, that geostatistics have been widely used by mining industry, metallic mining, and also coal mining until now. Mainly for resource estimation and evaluation. So, as I always said, anytime to geologists or mining engineer, that geostatistics is only a tool. So, it provides a powerful tool for enhancing the prediction and decision-making capability of mine planner and geologists. The important thing is how the user can understand the parameter prepare or should be provided before we do the geostatistical analysis. If you don't understand about the parameters, so the result of geostatistical estimation should be questioned. I mean, we ask about the validation of the result. And the most important thing, one tool related to geostatistical analysis is variogram. So by using variogram, you can evaluate whether a deposit or a data set finally can be analyzed using geostatistical or only in the classical statistics. As a linear estimation method, geostatistics provide the best possible weighting for sample used in resource estimation. Of course, we hope that it produces lowest possible error of estimation. But again, it depends on the character of your data set. This is Dr. Danny Crick and Professor Josh Matrong. According to Professor Josh Matrong, geostatistics is defined as the application of probabilistic method to recognize variable with designated any function in a real space. So I highlight here the probabilistic method, which can be deal with uncertainty, which we discuss it today. So why uncertainty analysis? The concept on uncertainty, I mean the definition of uncertainty related to some concept or some parameters. As I list here, we can deal, the uncertainty can deal with error, can deal with accuracy, variability, confidence, reliability, and so on. Highlight here in the red letter for some parameter we will discuss today. So I put some factor here influence the uncertainty or error according to Isaac and Srivastava 1989. So there are four main factors which influence the uncertainty. First is number of nearby samples. So additional nearby sample should have you to make the estimate more reliable, of course. And the second is proximity of the available sample. So the closer sample to the estimated point, you will get more confident for your estimation. Then the third one is about the spatial arrangement of the sample. Yeah, it's actually similar to proximity. Yeah, here the additional confidence that additional sample might bring is influenced by their proximity to existing sample. And the last is the nature of phenomena under study. This is the fourth one. We cannot avoid it. Yeah, as you know that the nature of phenomena under study is given by God, so you cannot avoid about this one. So with an extremely smooth and well-behaved variable, your estimation are going to be more reliable. So you will be very lucky if you your data set, your grid or your geometry of the deposit extremely smooth and well-behaved. But of course, we cannot find this kind of very ideal condition. Of course, when you deal with very erratic variable, you will have a problem to make the estimation to get the reliable estimation. This is an example of how we add the confidence for our estimation point. So, for example, if we have only one sample here, and we want to estimate this point, then, for example, if we have more budget or our boss asks us to put some additional sample, the question is, will you add the additional sample here, for example, 2 additional sample, or you will put like this in this configuration? Of course, if your data is fluctuate very much, the configuration like this one is not enough. Yeah, it's not enough to represent the data. And if the better, of course, this one, yeah, with this configuration. So if you have fluctuates data, of course, this one is better. Very fluctuate data, more reliable. You will get more reliable estimation. And what is the error? As you know, as I mentioned before, that one parameter related to uncertainty is error. Yeah. Error is the difference between estimated value from the true value. As we don't know yet about the true value in geostatistics, we can only estimate or predict the variance of error. After you have projection data or additional detailed data like blast hole, of course, you can represent the true value, and then you can show your real error. Yeah, again, according to Isaac and Srivastava, there are three terms to report the uncertainty. First is uncertainty index. This is relative indication of the magnitude of the error. I will show an example after. Second is confidence interval. This is an interval and a probability that the unknown value falls within this interval. This mostly used associated with Kriging estimation. For example, if from Kriging variance we convert the Kriging variant to be into relative error, we have to put confidence or to assume confidence interval, for example, 95%, by considering the distribution of error is normal. Then you have to multiply your standard deviation of error, relative error, by 2 or twice. Then you will get the interval where the unknown value or true value will fall within this one. The last is the third one is probability distribution, which is used to describe the probability of exceeding certain threshold. So the probability distribution can be produced from conditional simulation result, for example, from sequential Gaussian simulation, and I will show an example later. Okay, this is the perspective view of a SIM structure model obtained by a kind of three-dimensional optimization method. This is a kind of optimization method. Their process is similar to indicator simulation actually. As you can see here, we have four SIM actually, SIM T, SIM R, SIM Q, and SIM P, and the red one is waste or non-coal material. In the west and eastern part, you see that there are SIM splitting. Yeah, they are SIM splitting. If you accumulate this SIM, of course, you have abundance of SIM. You have many SIM, but it's split it. And in the middle part, you can see here a local disappearance where the SIM can be, I don't know, maybe geologically it can be caused. It was caused by we call it washout. Yeah, washout. When I put a cross section around here in west-east direction, here, for example, for one SIM here, and then I estimate the thickness of the SIM, then I get the estimation error here, like this. So you can see that the estimation error is from relative error from 0 to 6% maximum. When the SIM disappears here, then the estimation error is higher. While when the SIM accumulated in a splitted here, the estimation of error is low. And also I put here the uncertainty index on uncertainty degree from the result of optimization model by simulation from 0 to 1 maximum. You can see here that when the SIM accumulated in a splitted here, the uncertainty is low, while when the SIM disappears here, then the uncertainty index or degree is high. This is kind of uncertainty index, example of uncertainty index I said before. And I put here associated with the relative error by ordinary Kriging. Okay. Next is an example of probability maps produced from the sequential Gaussian simulation. I will explain the process afterhand. This is the lineament map, density lineament map, surface lineament extracted from digital elevation model. You can use DMNAS or LIDAR. And the right picture is the probability map of alteration intensity. So we produce these two maps using threshold. The threshold is upper quartile of lineament density and alteration intensity. As it is probability map, the range of value is from 0 to 1. Maybe this highlight the interesting prospect area where the alteration probability to have alteration density above their upper quartile is high, yeah, and then also the probability of high lineament density is high, yeah, close to 1. And then I would like to discuss the comparison between estimation and simulation, as we the uncertainty almost I mean these two methods always associated with uncertainty, which very important in to control the resource estimation and also the mining production. So the simulation is imitation of condition. This is an attempt to create an array of value that has the same statistical and spatial structure as the true grid. So the value are generated on a much more local scale for which true grid information is available. As we know that most of estimation method, such as kriging, InfoSystem, polygonal, they produce a smoothing result. So their estimation do not reflect the local grid variation. So of course, as it is linear, kind of linear regression or linear interpolation, they works like this. Yeah, the result is smoothed. So when you consider that your variable is not linear again, of course this method is not appropriate for your data, and the conditional simulation may more appropriate to model or to produce the estimation, the resource, which is considering the local variability. So in estimation, it concerned with the minimizing the error variance, while in simulation, you concern to reproduce the dispersion variance of real data. This is the difference. This is the process. So in upper figure, it shows a real curve like this. Yeah, of course it is unknown. Yeah, before we produce or to make the detailed sampling, and then this is the kriging. Yeah, the kriging, the line, and this is the sample. Yeah, the sample point. And actually, the conditional simulation started by a non-conditional simulation. This kind of generating random number of data, and you can create many random number of data. For example, this is a non-conditional simulation, only one. For example, only one, and this is the sample point, and then the simulation of kriging. Sorry, this is the simulation of the kriging error. The non-conditional simulation is this one. And then the kriging error are picked up from the simulation and added to Kriging curve like this. So finally, you will have the simulated result here. the simulation conditional simulated result. Okay, this is a simple figure that I like very much this figure because it's clearly show the difference between the kriging and simulation compare also to the true grid. Yeah, and as you can see here, if we have data, sample data here or conditioning data, of course your kriging estimated grid is like this. For example, it's smoothed, and the simulation is, oh sorry, the simulation is one, the simulated. This is, for example, only one realization. And you have true grid like this. Or you can have true grid. Of course, you drill or you make sampling more detail, yeah, more continue, and you will get a true grid. Yeah. For example, using Blazol and so on, or test bit. Yeah. Yeah, of course. By see this figure, you can see you can conclude that kriging estimation is not considering the local variability. While simulated grid showing the local variability following the trend or statistical trend of of true grid. For example, if the maximum of true grid here, yeah, you have a maximum simulated here, minimum here, yeah, and also you see that the variability, then the variance, yeah, the variance follow the simulated, the variant of simulated grid following the variant of true grid. Okay, this is another example, a submarine cable. Yeah, this is the sample, survey sample. Yeah, you can consider that this is a drill hole if you in your mining area, and this is the creek profile, and this is the continuous survey. Of course, this is the true one, true profile, but of course the true profile is very expensive because you have to make a survey very detailed. You waste time, you waste money, and so on. Yeah, the same as you drill per each 10 meters maybe. Yeah. And this one is the simulated profile based on 100 meters data based on this one. You can see here that the how to say, then the simulation, the simulated profile following the variable simulated profile following the true. Yeah. Different with the kriging, which is smooth. Yeah, smoothing, smooth result. Yeah. Okay. Of course, the total length is the simulation is close to, even not the same, because we cannot say that we cannot make the same one, but it's closer rather than compare the kriging profile. This is another example. If we model the profile of laterite nickel, yeah, in Tibagi is in New Caledonia. The upper one is vertical section of creek profile. You can see here that it's smooth, and the below one is simulated profile. Yeah, here in right left side of, yeah, it's okay. It's almost similar, but the problem here, yeah, you can see that there are much different between the profile produced by kriging and simulation. I have another one on the time I produce the similar one, Petroc zone profile at laterite nickel in Halmahera. I compare with this ordinary co-kriging, the type I use ordinary co-kriging, the red one, and I put here, I overlay with 4 realization. I pick up randomly from 100 realization from sequential Gaussian simulation. Yeah, you can see that the different ordinary co-kriging is smoothed. Yeah, here the red one. And when I consider the model of Petroc elevation, if I consider the minimum of from this 4 simulation, maybe like this. Yeah, maybe like this. The true profile. Sorry, not the true profile. The more valid model. Yeah, of Petroxone profile. Okay, then by this slide, I would like to share some case study with it is uncertainty modeling in a coal seam. First, I share the case study in Brazil by Costa et al. on 2000. So they said that the kriging actually does not consider uncertainty associated with the estimate. It's mean local uncertainty, local variability. So the kriging model is not enough for short range main plan. The conditional simulation which reproduces actual variability and spatial continuity is more representative to use for short-term main plan. This is the data. So they use coal accumulation, like this. So coal accumulation is a thickness multiplied by density, and as the simulation produce many realization, more than one realization. For example, here they produce 10 realization. They saw the simulation number 1 to number 10, and in we can say cut or strip, because they use stripping mine in this coal mining. So this is the histogram of simulated realization. 3 from 10 realization. You can see that the histogram is similar, and similar also to the histogram of original one. Sorry, I don't put the histogram of original original variable here. And this is the variogram of normalized data. So before we make a simulation, we have to transform the data to be standard normal by by mean of 0 and variant is 1. Okay, this is the three variogram of simulated data, but still in standard normal data. We have after simulation, we have to back transform to the original data. This very important here. So this figure shows 5 realization in 5 strip or cut. So if your target every month is 9, so here the explanation. So the total length of each cut is as the target of 1 year from production, and for monthly production, the target is about 83,000 ton, and it needs approximately 231 meters strip each month. And the coal accumulation related to this target is 9. Average is 9 here, 9 ton per meter cubic. So as you can see here that the result of simulation fluctuates, sometimes higher than, like strip 10 higher than 9 and strip 4 lower than 9. Then if you want to strip the strip 4, main strip 4, of course you have to compensate with strip 20, for example, because if you mine strip 4 is not following the target, you will not fulfill the target, and so on. This is very important when your target, for example, drop from during a particular month. So your simulation, your model of simulation or realization can control your production in short-term and plan. Another example is about the target for sulfur content. So, of course, when you use the coal for fuel, you have to consider that your average of total sulfur not exceeding the 1%. So this is the probability map produced from, for example, from 10 realization. And of course, this one is the probability of sulfur content of coal exceeding 1%. Exceeding 1%, so means that you have to choose probability low, close to 0. Yeah, this one, like for example, yeah, like this. Yeah, if you strip mine the cut one here, where the sulfur fluctuates upper 1%, so you have to compensate with, for example, cut 92 to blend it, make it blending. So the sulfur should be below the 1%. Okay, this is coming from 10 realization. Another example by Whitley, 2002, the similar one, this sulfur data, when the conditional simulation result compared to play data, it's similar. Yeah, this is the advantage of this simulation. This the simulation of total sulfur, which is form and plan, yeah, based on the local variability. Last example, case study here. I share uncertain assessment of Poltonets. This is my study in 2008. So I compared the ordinary tricking with sequential Gaussian simulation to evaluate the local and global uncertainty. This is an expression to I want to produce the model of coal accumulation, yeah, estimation of coal accumulation. So first I make a kriging of thickness, coal seam thickness, and also kriging of relative density. Then I make a multiply. So this product is estimate of coal accumulation. But we cannot multiply the kriging variant. Yeah, it's different. So this is how to this is the formula how to produce the variant of error from this coal accumulation estimate. Okay, and finally, by considering by assuming the normal distribution of error and use confidence interval 95%, and this is my standard deviation of error. Yeah. And we can put this one in each block, so you can map the local uncertainty of by using this standard deviation of error. But if we want to make it a global error, we can use this kind of formula. So just how to say, just make a weighted by this one, yeah, this term by you multiply by the estimate value, and then divided by total of estimate value. And for my case, when I use for SIM data, yeah, this is the result. The tonnage of the estimate tonnage of coal, and then the associated global error. We can see here that SIMP has highest global error. Yeah. Why? Yeah, we can see here. This is the ordinary kriging map of coal accumulation, and this is the associated error map based on kriging variant. And why SIMP has highest error? Because here the data is sparse. Yeah, the data is sparse, and of course, kriging variant is very sensitive to this sparsity of data. How about simulation? Nah, this is 100 realization of Poltonets obtained from a sequential Gaussian simulation. This is the distribution is normal distribution of Boltonets for these 4 SIM, and this is the summary of result. As you can see that the result of estimate tonnage is almost similar to the creaking, but the variation is different. This is negative and positive variation according to the local variability produced by sequential conditional simulation. From here we can see that SIM P, they saw highest variation, but not as highest as the global error shown by creaking variant. So I can say that the simulation is not so sensitive to the sparsity of data. Okay, this is example from 100 realization. I just saw the realization number of 50, 50th realization of call. You can see that here much, how to say, then the map show the local variability of call accumulation. But if 100 realization you make average mean, average, then the result is similar to creaking. So of course, in this simulation result, we cannot use the mean. Please use other statistical parameter, because if you use mean of the result of realization from the simulation is the same as it's similar to the creaking. It's smoothing. Okay, finally, I have 3 closing remarks here. Both estimation and simulation could model the local and global uncertainty associated with resources. And the estimation by creaking produce smoothing effect. As we know, it is how to say, character of any kind of linear estimation. So it did not consider local variability. So creaking is good for global resource estimate for long-term mine plan. For example, to be used in reserve estimation for yearly production, yearly target production. But if you consider the short-term mine plan, if you are deal with a short-term mine plan where you need to deal with more local variability related to the production target which coming out from your mining, your mine area. So conditional simulation is more appropriate because it's maintain the statistical distribution and spatial structure, and also of course their realization associated with local variability. I think that's all. Thank you for your attention.